Hello, we are at AVEVA Day and it's a pleasure to have with us Mr. Emon Zaman, the Senior Vice President Asia Pacific AVEVA. Welcome here today, sir, and thank you for joining us and spending some time and giving us a bite here. We have a few questions to ask you because you're the best person to answer them. So here it is. What are the segments targeted at this edition of AVEVA Day and the trust of the solutions available for them?
Thank you. Thank you. It's great for me to be here, speaking to you as well as visiting many of the customers that are joined here today. So the theme for this event this year is enabling the connected industrial economy. So we have over 200 customers from the power segment, oil and gas segment, pharmaceutical segment, and all across India gathered here to understand AVEVA's strategy and vision on how we're going to enable them to better leverage industrial data to make decisions. Fundamentally, AVEVA is about using data in context to empower the decision makers, empower the engineers and operators to safely, reliably, and sustainably run their operations. So we're very pleased to share both AVEVA presentations as well as presentations from our customers on how they have successfully deployed our technologies to make this a reality.
Well, I'm sure everyone's going to be looking forward to that. Sustainability is a major issue globally. And how is AVEVA helping customers reach net zero goals for 2025?
That's a really important topic for AVEVA. So sustainability is a key theme for everything we do. And AVEVA is part of the Paris Accord and this COP28 initiatives to drive the sustainable initiatives for us as an organization and also to enable our customers to achieve their goals in operations. Now, AVEVA impacts sustainability for our customers in three ways. And I'll describe those three one at a time. So the first is around existing operations and existing assets. How do you reduce your carbon footprint? That's the first area. The second is around looking at carbon offsets. So how do you capture the carbon that's being emitted and actually reduce the emissions and your footprint? And the final one is around energy transition and diversification. And I'll talk about these three elements one at a time. Now, within existing operations, India has a lot of operations all across the country, and they're aging assets.
True that.
AVEVA's technology enables these companies to reduce the energy emissions by optimizing how much energy is consumed. Examples are various. They're in oil and gas companies, and they're in refining companies, as well as in industrial operations in chemicals and petrochemicals. Second one is around capturing the carbon. So one example I'll give, it's outside of India, is Aker Carbon Capture. So what Aker Carbon Capture does is they have technology that basically can take carbon from the air, carbon dioxide from the air, and actually inject it into the ground for storage. So by that means, what they are able to do is help companies reduce the amount of CO2 emissions they actually have in their operations. The third area that I talked about was around the energy transition. And we impact the energy transition in two ways. One is renewables. The second is around the hydrogen transition. So for renewables, we're working with many companies in the world, but it includes companies like Enel, which is a European power producer, to enable our solutions to basically optimally run their fleet of solar facilities. Around hydrogen, what we're enabling companies to do is to leverage our technology to more efficiently execute the construction and engineering of complex hydrogen facilities, such that companies that are today producing energy from hydrocarbons can gradually transition away and actually produce energy from hydrogen. Those are the three key areas how we're impacting and enabling the sustainability objective for companies globally as well as here in India.
Well, that's so much, and thank you for putting it together so precisely for our viewers. Thank you so much. When calling for connectivity and collaboration across the value chain, how do individual entities safeguard their proprietary data?
It's a very good question. And safeguarding data and proprietary data is actually a legal obligation for us as an organization as well. Many countries, including India, have data privacy and data protection
Oh, yeah,
acts
true.
that has a direct impact on how we build our software and how we manage the data that resides in our software to ensure compliance. Now, it could be GDPR, which exists in Europe. It could be MeitY compliance, which exists in India. Now, this is around government regulations to address that requirement. But there's also another important aspect, which is around corporate intellectual property. So this data can have proprietary information that's relevant to mission critical infrastructure for many companies that we work with. We work with power companies like Tata Power, Reliance, and many, many others here in India. And it's absolutely essential that the trust that they've placed in us and our technology, we're able to ensure the protection and privacy of that data only to the key stakeholders. And this has been proven even for companies in the US and UK and many other places where our solutions are used in nuclear facilities. And nuclear is, again, an even more critical infrastructure, as you can imagine, for obvious reasons. And we've had the trust and proven presence in nuclear sectors in the US and Europe over 30 years, such that it actually allows us to provide similar type of capabilities across this country.
So then I must say they are the best because they're with the best. Okay, coming to our next question. Data not analyzed properly is a waste, but is computing alone enough to do this? What about the availability of human skills trained adequately?
So data that's not analyzed by humans, which has not had the human insight and experience incorporated, is not really valuable. Data by itself is not really useful for running an efficient operations. What the human insight brings is turning that data into knowledge. And when you have that knowledge, you can actually take actionable insights and you actually take the appropriate action to drive your operations. I'll use the analogy and example of the role of AI. AI is a big theme as it relates to the industry.
Most spoken of these days.
Even in our consumer world, in our industrial world, we're all wondering what role will AI have? Now, AI doesn't know anything by itself. AI is basically simply you're putting rules into computer software for it to help make decisions. What AI now needs to do is to have very strong knowledge from actual engineers and operators to ensure that rule base is put in. So again, this ties into using data with AI requires human intervention, human insights, such that the repetitive nature of work can be replicated and replaced by AI. And what the human can actually really focus on are the incremental value-added capabilities that are required to efficiently, safely, and reliably run their assets and operations.
Everyone's going to trust you for that from now on. All right. When it comes to smart cities, digital twins are critical for building a seamless experience. Are there any use cases and the hurdles identified in that process? Can you please share with us?
We're very proud to say that in India, AVEVA has deployed our smart city solutions in 12 different cities. It's actually a fantastic example of leveraging data, technology, and the concept of digital twin to improve daily life in these cities. The one example I'll use is PCMC. And within PCMC, they had a vision of being one of the top 100 smart cities in the world. And they're well on their way to achieving this. The challenges for PCMC were challenges similar to many, many other growing Indian cities, which is around traffic congestion, lack of reliability of transportation, high pollution, inadequate water supply, and among many, many others. The other challenge they had was they had many, many different siloed systems basically managing the infrastructure, the IT infrastructure, to make effective decisions. Now, the benefit they had is the local government realized the benefit and the potential of smart city initiatives. And that allowed them to have an initiative which basically allow them to implement AVEVA smart city solutions such that we integrated all these different siloed systems for them to make efficient use of data. Now, what we have happening at PCMC is that their pollution has gone down. Their water usage has actually dropped quantifiably by up to 25%.
Wow.
Traffic congestion is down, as measured by commute time between key locations, by 15%. And all of this is happening while the city is still growing. So they're well on their way to becoming one of the top cities in the world as it relates to leveraging smart cities. Now, PCMC is just one example, but AVEVA solutions are used in the area of using digital twin, many other places all over the world. In the water segment, around water infrastructure, AVEVA actually has a very high prevalence with close to 60% plus of water utilities in major cities using this same type of technology to improve water supply, reduce contamination, and ensure safe quality drinking water to their citizens.
That's commendable.
What is required ultimately is a strong willingness and drive from the top. Sometimes it's the municipal government, sometimes it's the state government. That's the key to success in leveraging digital twins for smart cities.
Sky is the limit for AVEVA then, and I'm sure that's exactly what you guys are working forward to. We wish you all the very best from all of us at Team ID. Thank you.
Thank you.